Hello, friends. Welcome to Melissa's Musings. Just getting set up here in the backyard, so some of you come on in. I believe it's noon. I think it's noon. Well, close enough that I will wait for you guys to come and join me. I was just getting my setup situated, and the place that I'm in, the setting that I'm in, is so fitting for today's topic because it's one of the spaces that I am really inspired to do my work in lately, now that we've worked so hard to get this space created and complete and to an enjoyable space to do things like work. Hi, Paul. Thanks for joining. Yay! One of my regulars is here. Paul, I'm so happy to see you. Where's Yaya? Yaya, my grandma, has been trying to catch my show live now since I've transitioned to the weekly episode, and she just keeps missing it. I'm gonna have to call you next time, Yai. You're gonna tune in live one time. So anyways, the location of my musing today is very fitting, considering that I am continually inspired by this space and it's getting me to fish. So I was really inspired yesterday watching a Gary Vee video. For those of you who know, I'm a big Gary Vee fan, and if you don't follow him, I suggest that you do. He's a great mindset advocate and huge in the social media space, but he was doing a video on really teaching people how to make money online. And he was like, here, I'm literally giving you the fishing pole, but my guess is that over 50% of you won't even use it. Why? Because you're too lazy to go down to the lake and fish. And what's really fascinating is we continually do a lot of coaching. We do a lot of like social media workshops. We do a lot to support our sphere in the things that we continually learn, because we love to share the wealth of knowledge. So we often do like social media workshops or sharing of what works for us, or we'll have new agents call us from all over the country kind of asking what we do in our business and the things that we like, the tools that we use, and a bunch of different things. And no matter what, I continually give very candidly what we do to the people that call. And the reason that I like to support them, can you guys see me okay? It's so bright out here that I literally can't even see the screen, so I'm hoping everything's good. Give me a thumbs up if you can see me. I'm sorry. I'm distracted. But basically, like, sorry, focus back. So with like having the tools in our tool belt, we continually love to share that wealth of knowledge. But what is so interesting is half the time people kind of are surprised by the amount that we share. They're like, oh, I can't believe you shared all that with me. Like, I really appreciate it. The reason we candidly share is because so often people actually won't even use the tools that we're using, even though we're straight up telling them what we use and why we use it and how it's been an aid in our business, because they don't actually have the initiative, that accountability, the portion of themselves, like that willpower piece, to actually get it done. So this month, as John and I transition into August, we have some like really, really, really aggressive goals that we're very excited about. And the goals that we have are really around becoming masters of our time. So we are going to be time blocking and creating specific like windows of time for our team, for work, for pleasure, for ourselves, all of the different things that we get to fit into our days. We're basically stretching our plate, getting really smart with it, and implementing a bunch of the tools that we can clearly see are in our gaps. So, for example, like one of the gaps that we've continually seen in our routines and our level of productivity is like our a fluctuation in our morning routine. So John and I notice a downward turn in our productivity if we're not consistently waking up at the same time every morning. That's just personally what comes up for us when we're like evaluating what might be in our personal gaps. So recently we decided that we are, the whole month of August, going to do like Sober August, which is going to be super fun. We're going to get realigned with our goals. We're going to have like a hardcore, rigorous 5 a.m. wake up, like 9 p.m. bedtime. That's for me. John's not going to bed as early as I am. But me, I'm like an old lady. So like, I plan on being so rigorous with my time and so intentional with my time that it just becomes like second nature, and I'm going to therefore create an abundance of time. But what I know firsthand from the massive goals that I've implemented for myself in the past is that these goals are not going to be easy. And while I have the fishing pole, right, I understand what gets to be done, I actually get to walk myself down to the lake and fucking fish, right? Like, there's no excuse for the hard work and the effort. So what we've been doing is we've been preparing ourselves to take on that work and effort by putting tools in our tool belt to use. Paul, I love the tools. Yes. Because literally, okay, I know what gets to be put into practice. It gets to be my routine. It gets to be my habits. It gets to be a daily wake up. It gets to be a miracle morning, daily yoga, all of these things to make myself literally the best human being that I can be. And to do so, I know it's going to be an incredible challenge. So what John and I are doing is we're creating literally a daily check-in call with our team, so that every single morning the entire team is syncing up, talking about their wins from the week, what their one thing is going to be on that day, what their intentions are for the day, and like what they plan on accomplishing. We are implementing like accountability spheres, because we want to be held accountable to these ridiculous goals that we're setting ourselves to. And they're not ridiculous in the sense of like them being challenging. They're ridiculous in the fact that they're going to be a massive lifestyle shift. John and I spend a lot of our day working, and that's not going to necessarily change, but the structure of it's going to change. And I think that by really kind of like divvying our time and being a lot more intentional about our time itself, we're going to create the space where we're going to have very intentional work-focused blocks of time, and it's going to be amazing. And then we're going to move on to the next daily block of the next block of time, whether that be taking a walk or taking a lunch break, or even like I even have some time blocked in my calendar just for some decompression like points in my day. Because sometimes, I don't know if you guys who keep a regular schedule, sometimes you go and you're eating dinner like wondering when and where you had lunch and breakfast. You're like, wait, was it oatmeal that I had for breakfast? When did I eat lunch? So that's a pattern that I get to break through. That's one of the gaps that I absolutely see in myself and in my business and in my productivity and in the version of my highest self. So I've got my fishing pole. I know how to fish. It's simply a matter of actually putting it into action and taking the action of fishing. So what we're doing this month is really putting a lot of tools into practice, putting a lot of implementations into place, calling specific people out in our sphere to hold us accountable and to be accountability buddies for the things that we want. And we've had multiple conversations now about being committed to like not talking each other out of things, you know, like kind of when you have, so July, for example, was like, our intention for the month was like fun and spontaneity. So it was very easy to tap into like, John, get up from your desk. Let's go for like a walk. Let's take it. It's 3:00. Let's do it. Or like, let's get up from our desk and go to the beach. Let's just go take a walk on the beach. That was July's focus, and we embraced it, and we've been like having a great time with that. And now with August's focus being a little bit different, we're shifting into something totally different. So while we had like our team holding us accountable, like, ooh, what did you do fun this week? Now we're gonna have them holding us accountable, like, hey, did you guys wake up at 5 all this week in order to accomplish our challenge? Because we know how much more difficult this challenge is gonna be on ourselves, and we're really committed to fishing. So for those of you who might be thinking to yourself like, oh, I'm already halfway through the year, you know, like some of these big goals that I wanted to accomplish now seem really big considering I have half the time to do them. No, like check in with yourself. You really get to realign with those goals. They can be such powerful aspects. You still have so many months to finish before the end of the year. We've got August, September, October, November, and December. You've got phone call. We've got 5 badass months left. And in reflection of looking at my past few years, honestly, I typically receive a huge burst of energy in August, and it typically carries me through the end of the year until we start to kind of like wind down for Thanksgiving, Christmas, all those fun things. So I encourage you, if you've been feeling a little discouraged or a little disheartened on your goals, just choose one. Pick a few accountability buddies. Implement the tools that you know will lead you to success, because I know that if I don't create the tools in the container for me to experience success on these goals, 3 days in, maybe I'll pour myself a glass of wine. But no, I'm not, because I'm really committed. I'm excited about the goals. I have energy to back them. I have my team in place to support me. And Paul, that's exactly right. No goal is too big. And I love that you wrote, sounds like a daily scrum. I think that's exactly kind of what we're going for, kind of energizing each other. And Paul is exactly right. No goal is too big. He's literally running the Athens Marathon this year in November. It's something he's been preparing for a really long time. This has been such a journey for you, Paul. For those of you who don't follow Paul, I encourage you to do so. He just recently started his blog, and he's sharing his entire journey of the really like the journey to the marathon, which is so cool. The journey to the journey. And absolutely right, Paul. Like, Paul has been a great accountability bud for me, and vice versa. Like, I know he's reached out to me a couple times and been like, read this blog post, or, you know, like, what do you think of this? And those types of partners are so valuable in achieving the goals that you want. So for those of you out there, know that I am so happy. Like, if you And really, for the biggest goals in our life, once we started telling everybody around us, that's when we accomplished the goal. So I'm telling everybody, I'm like, I'm doing Sober August, like, get ready for it, because it's going to be fun, and I'm going to be showing up in my awesome sober self, high on life, ready to have a great time, as usual. But, like, it can be so powerful to really surround yourself with the actions that get to take place, the people who can support you in order to get that fishing rod at the lakefront and actually take the action of fishing. So I love you guys. Hope you have some massive goals that you want to accomplish. I can't wait to hear what they're going to be. Please put them in the comments below like Paul did, because I already know about his goal, and I love checking in with him on it. I love seeing the progress on it. And if all of a sudden I stopped seeing running posts, it would probably be a great opportunity to be like, hey friend, what's up? Are you still running? Like, haven't seen anything, right? Because I know what what Paul is committed to. I know what he's going to achieve, and I know how I can best keep him accountable, because he's been really open with his entire sphere about what he's accomplished or what he's committed to accomplishing. So, love you guys. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Happy Tuesday. Until next Tuesday at noon, I'll talk to you later. Bye.